Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream, and I'm going to do your February the 13th Spiritual Principle a Day in a Meditation. If you need to reach me, do so at recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. Look forward to hearing from you. Okay, let's see. The meditation is entitled Opening Up to Understanding, February the 13th. As with much else that happens in NA, the free exchange of experience and ideals in an atmosphere of support and mutual respect leads to growth and understanding. That is taken from the Guiding Principles book, Introduction, Group Inventory, and Service Workshops. It's like I had blinders on, dark sunglasses, and earplugs too. Oh, and tape over my mouth, a member shared. My view of life was so cloudy, dark, and narrow, and secretive. No information got in, and none came out. Same with me, another member responded, except for the tape. I had no qualms about opening my mouth and telling you whose fault everything was and what your problems were, too. Before getting clean, we believed that no one else could understand our unique struggles and situations. Our poor coping and communication skills often secured our role as being woefully misunderstood members of our community. We judged others, sometimes internally, sometimes verbally, but always harshly, and we perceived that we too were harshly judged. That's a true statement. Opening up our hearts to other members' struggles and being vulnerable about our own helps us heal the wounds we carried with us in the rooms of NA. When we become willing to have an honest dialogue about our ideals and hear other perspectives, we expand our self-awareness and can benefit more from the wisdom and experience of others. Allowing ourselves to be present creates an environment of mutual understanding and respect. Situations that once meant nothing to me now have deeper meaning, the first member said. My understanding of something greater than myself continues to evolve. My outlook on life is way more expansive. Yeah, NA has opened my mind in ways I never could have imagined, said the other. And sometimes I even keep my mouth shut. Feeling loved and understood changes us. Today, I will shed the blinders, dark glasses, and earplugs. I'll be open. I'll listen. As for the mouth tape, I'll evaluate each individual situation as to whether or not I need to leave it right where it is. That's a beautiful meditation. Let's take a moment of silence followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. Opening up to understanding. And I believe this meditation is beautiful just from the point of view that it involves two different addicts, recovering addicts, having a conversation about their perception when they first got to the rooms and how they've developed over time. And it's very important for all of us to feel the similarities and not the differences. In the other meditation, just for today's meditation that I did for today's date, I talked a little bit about how as many people are in the rooms, there will be that many different perceptions or views on the same topic. There may be some similarities, but how each spiritual principle is applied, each cliche, the information. For instance, let me give you an example. The topic of whether or not we recover from the disease of addiction. We know that it can be arrested, right? Some people will say, well, if there was a chapter called We Do Recover, it would make sense that a person would be okay to say, I'm recovered from the disease of addiction. Some other people in recovery will have a problem with you speaking about the disease of addiction in past tense because your disease of addiction is always a part of you and with. However, they will not have a problem if a person says, I've recovered from cancer. I no longer have cancer. I'm not dealing with it. Okay. So the difference between the disease of addiction and a lot of other diseases is that this disease of addiction is centered in our brains. And as long as our thought process is active, our brains are active, it stands to reason that we will always have some element of the disease of addiction, especially as it pertains to our thinking, the mental part. This is important for us to look at similarities and not the differences. It would not matter what side of that We Do Recover that you stand on. Where you stand needs to be in a position of recovery, right? That's the main thing. That you're in recovery, that you are pursuing it, that you are living it. That is the main thing. That's the main takeaway. But I give you that as an example because sometimes what happens is that we become dogmatic about certain things, and then we begin to isolate and alienate ourselves and wonder why no one wants to be bothered with you or why no one invites you to go out after the meeting, because they don't want to debate. They just want to have fellowship and enjoy love and kindness and respect. Most of us came out of the streets where it was all about defending, dog eat dog. That terminology, dogmatic, right? Where everything was about the way we saw it, and there was nothing else that we would consider even. That's not us today. We're open to understanding. We're open to allowing others to express themselves and to respect them as they are doing so, understanding that we don't necessarily have to even agree with that, but it doesn't mean that I have to be rude or mean to you. We find that we have characteristics about ourselves that no longer serve the purpose in this particular atmosphere of recovery. You still have people that come into a meeting, they have a particular chair they sit in all the time. And God forbid if someone would sit in that chair, they will have an attitude the whole meeting. And they wouldn't dare, some of them will dare, to tell the person in that chair, why are you sitting in my seat? Get another seat. You don't own anything. I don't see your name written on this chair. Before you know it, we have an atmosphere that is not conducive to recovery because somebody want to take ownership over a chair that belongs to the building that they're renting for the meetings. But it's something that simple. We are standing on non-existent virtues. Are you open to maybe sitting somewhere else? Not having to roll your eyes and make rude comments when so-and-so shares about the same exact thing all over again? Are you open to not cross-sharing and not sniper sharing? These are all things that we individually need to consider. Yeah, I love this meditation. Well, I'm going to leave you with that. I hope that you have a beautiful day. Many of you know in a few days, I'm going to be having a surgery that is going to put me down for a little bit, but I am creating content so that you will have it right after midnight. My goal is at least a week. I may not need to do that many in advance, but I do want to be considerate of the relationship that we've developed. I receive all your prayers, all your well wishes. Leave them in the comments. I look forward to being with you tomorrow. Have a beautiful day on purpose.